Well, it is time to do an update on Olaf, the snapping turtle. I got him as a hatchling, only a few days old. From what I've learned, they're very resilient, so when I got him, I thought he was in really bad condition. And then after doing more and more research and learning more and more about him, I've realized that he probably would have been fine just on his own if I let him go. However, at the time when I did receive him, I thought he was lethargic and sick, and that if I didn't intervene, he would have died. So I did take him. He's pretty big now. He's hand size. I got him when he was that big, and he is quadruple that, maybe 10 times that, to be honest. He's heavy, and he's a tank, and right now he's hunting. I just threw in some crappie shiners that I got from fishing today, and he's been on the prowl hunting for those. Either way, I've got him in a 45-gallon tank. It used to have a lot of decorations in it, but he doesn't seem to like them. He tears them apart, he knocks them over. He basically redecorates his house how he wants it, so I kind of just gave up on putting decorations in there. There is a castle that he's laying on now that's upside down, which I just decided to leave like that. There are ghost shrimp that live inside of there. Some are carrying babies, and those babies are not born yet. They're still eggs. One of these days when I find a female with eggs that she's carrying, I'll put that on here so people can see what that looks like. He lounges around a lot. Primarily sits on the bottom. He's a very, very, very fluid hunter. Constantly roaming around, constantly hunting, looking for different things to eat. There's snails in there. There's ghost shrimp. I had a dozen shiners. I'm probably down to about 5. Really cool little guy, I'll say that. His hunting techniques are very fun to watch. Right now he's pretending like he's a rock, making very slow movements on this fish. We'll see if he can get it. His window closed. I do feed him the Reptomin floating food sticks. I've read some positive things and some negative things. I do not just feed him this. He is a wild turtle, and so I feed him a lot of different variety of foods: worms, waxworms, grubs, minnows, fish if I catch fish and I've got extra fillet that I'm not going to eat. I'll give him that. I've heard of people feeding him hot dogs and turkey and stuff like that. I won't do that, and I don't suggest doing that. Yes, it is meat, and yes, it is, edible, but for a wild animal like this, I suggest food that he would commonly come in, contact with. Snails, fish, plants, things of that nature. With that being said, there's not much to say. I run 2 filters, both of which need to be clean. They're both kind of running slow right now. When I first got him, I was advised to keep the water level under 6 inches. I did not listen. I've always had the water level this high. It is fairly full. I was told that turtles are kind of poor swimmers in the beginning. He was not. He was, from day one, a very good swimmer. He was Michael Phelpsing it all around the tank, having a good time. Yeah, great appetite now. He's very healthy. His shell is very nice. I do run the lighting up top. It's got the bulbs that are needed for his shell, the calcium and all that, and he gets the UV rays he's supposed to get to make sure that his shell is growing healthy and calcifying the way it's supposed to. Look at the neck on that guy. Snapping turtles' necks are so long. Sorry, there's a lot of algae right there. Snapping turtle necks are so long, though, and they use that for a number of different things. One, they don't really like to come out of the water. He's saying hello. So they will swim up to the surface only as far as they need to for their nose to stick out and grab a breath of air. I've seen him maybe come out of the water 4 times his entire life. He's about a year old now. Maybe not quite a year. He's 4 or 5 months. But look at that. So he'll grab some air, and he goes right back to just being back in the water. He doesn't really care for coming out. I can handle him. I do handle him a lot. I suggest that with any snapping turtle when you get it as a baby. If you don't handle them, they will not recognize you as friend and feel that you might be a threat, and they can become vicious or aggressive, after a while. He's not aggressive. He will bite me if I put my finger in there for, he believes it's food if I don't move it and make it look like a hand. He might think it's a worm or something, I'm not sure what, but he definitely will bite me if my finger just sits in there. As long as I'm moving around and I'm being active, he will not come after me. He's well aware that, I'm not food and I'm not something that he wants to eat. But he will take pecks at me if I'm standing still, just because he'll think it's a worm or something. But with that being said, I'm going to let you guys move on to the next video. Any questions, just post them down below and I will answer those. And we'll make some more videos of him feeding pretty soon. Have a good night.